Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Harry from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be the Combat Series episode number 27 for you guys today. Of course, this episode is going to be coming out on all four of our platforms: our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the first segment of the Combat Series this week. I'll be sharing my fight summary on the fight that took place in the sport of boxing last weekend between Devin the Dream Haney and Regis Prograis. I'll be giving my fight summary on that fight. So we saw in the sport of boxing last Saturday that Devin the Dream Haney became the new WBC junior welterweight champion in the sport of boxing, defeating Regis Prograis by unanimous decision to become the new WBC world champion at the 140-pound division in the sport of boxing. So, to me, this was a pure domination fight in terms of one-sided affairs in the sport of boxing. That we saw Devin Haney give a school, took Regis Prograis to school. A private kid took a homegrown 140-pound fighter to school, one of the best fighters in the division of Regis Prograis at the time. Devin Haney schooled him in that boxing ring on Saturday to pick up the win by unanimous decision. It was a complete shutout. I had the fight scored 12-0, all 12 rounds in favor of Devin Haney. Devin Haney outclassed and outboxed Regis Prograis from the start of the fight all the way to the end of the fight. That is something a lot of people were not expecting in this fight. I thought it was going to be a 50-50 fight. I still had Devin Haney coming out victorious, but I thought Regis Prograis might show him a thing or two at the new division at 140 pounds. Welcome him with some power shots. I'm going to get into that, but we didn't see that in this fight between Devin Haney and Regis Prograis. And the whole entire fight, Devin Haney really picked apart Regis Prograis, made it look really easy in that boxing ring for a total of 12 rounds against one of the best fighters in the division of Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is a former unified champion of the 140-pound division. He's nothing to sneeze at. Definitely was one of the best fighters in this division. When you think about how this division has played out for the last few years, I would say he was right behind Josh Taylor in terms of being the best fighter at the 140-pound division over the last few years, before obviously Teofimo Lopez defeated Josh Taylor and before Regis Prograis just lost to Devin Haney. I thought Regis Prograis was one of the best in this division, and he still was until Devin Haney got his hands on him. But Devin Haney moving up to 135 and 140, he looks really great. He looks phenomenal. He looks better than ever. He looks like he's more comfortable in that division. He looks like he's more comfortable making the weight compared to 135 pounds. Even though it's a 5-pound difference, you're talking about a grown man at 25 years of age still growing into his body frame. When you looked at Devin Haney making weigh-ins in the second fight, especially when he fought George Kambosos, the man looked like a skeleton. The man did not look healthy. Looked like he was really struggling to make 135 pounds. Now looks very comfortable at 140 pounds. Looks like he's growing to his frame. Looks like he's gained some additional power. Critics have claimed that Devin Haney does not have power. We definitely saw the man has some pop. He definitely has, he could crack at 140 pounds now with the power that he's growing into this body frame now. So it looked really good. And he also dropped Regis Prograis in the third round. So anybody questioning that Devin Haney has power, the question has already been answered. The way how he dropped Regis Prograis to the canvas. And I really think how that fight was playing out, Devin Haney really could have finished Regis Prograis off and defeated him by a knockout, but Devin Haney just played it safe. But he had Regis hurt several times in that fight. And if that was a knockout artist, Regis Prograis would have been out of there on Saturday night and would have got knocked out. But I think Devin Haney's still learning that he might have some power. Not used to it, but he's learning that. I think that if he gets an opportunity like that around the next time, if he's fighting a caliber fighter at 140, and he has him hurt like that, he'll go for the knockout. But Devin Haney looked really good. Regis Prograis looked very flat-footed in that fight on Saturday night. You saw that Devin Haney's footwork was 10 times more better than Regis Prograis' footwork. Regis Prograis' footwork, he was very flat-footed. That's really why he couldn't really move around the ring the way how Devin Haney was moving around the ring. Devin Haney was really hard to hit, and it wasn't like he was moving. It was just running from him. It was just the way how Devin Haney's footwork, how good his footwork really is, how he was moving inside, outside in that boxing ring of Regis Prograis. But flat-footed, he was very flat-footed. Regis Prograis just had no boxing skills. And I touched up on that on the Combat Series last week. I said if he was going to defeat Devin Haney, it was going to just take more than a lucky puncher's chance to defeat a caliber pound-for-pound fighter in Devin the Dream Haney. I thought he would work on his attributes. I thought he worked on his boxing toolbox. I see nothing improving Regis Prograis' game. A flat-footed fighter that has power, banking on a knockout was not going to be enough to defeat Devin the Dream Haney. We saw that on Saturday night. But I didn't think he was going to get dominated the way that he got dominated on Saturday. And when you look at this stat, it's really mind-boggling that Regis Prograis actually just broke Edwin De Los Santos' record. Edwin De Los Santos had a record that he set for landing the least amount of punches in a world championship fight against Shakur Stevenson, and that was snooze fest fight last month in the sport of boxing. Well, Regis Prograis just broke that record, not even a month removed from that Edwin De Los Santos Shakur Stevenson fight. Regis Prograis only landed a total of 36 punches on Devin the Dream Haney in 12 championship rounds. That is now the lowest amount of punches landed in 12 championship rounds in the sport of boxing in boxing history. So Regis Prograis made history for the wrong reason Saturday night against Devin Haney. So I'm not taking anything away from this. The fight just didn't live up to the hype, but the promotion was A+. I definitely believe it was one of the best promoted fights of all promotions, all across all promotions in the sport of boxing this year. The trash talking, the press conferences will never be forgotten. The face-to-face confrontations will never be forgotten. Shout out to Regis Prograis, his strength and conditioning coach, going head-to-head with Bill Haney, building up the fight. Him going head-to-head with Devin Haney. The trash talk with Bill Haney and Regis Prograis. Man, the promotion was absolutely phenomenal. The promos were absolutely phenomenal. The build-up to this fight was absolutely phenomenal. But also, I will say that too, the build-up really helped Devin Haney sell out in the Golden State Warriors arena, and really helped him sell out in the Bay Area in his hometown of San Francisco. So it was really nice. The promotion was nice, but the fight just didn't live up to the hype because of how one-sided the fight really was. But it's time to acknowledge we were living in the era of Devin the Dream Haney, the Devin the Dream Haney era. He's beaten George Linares, Jojo Diaz, George Kambosos twice, Vasily Lomachenko, Regis Prograis. He's now the youngest undisputed champion in boxing history. He did that just at the age of 24 years old. He's a two-division world champion, just took out the most dangerous fighter at the 140-pound division in Regis Prograis. Devin Haney is truly building a Hall of Fame resume, and we're living in the Devin the Dream Haney era. And it's time for us to all acknowledge it, whether you like him or you dislike him. The resume that he's building at this young age, he's looking like he could be on his way to the Hall of Fame if he keeps this up. But what's next for Devin Haney? I think it's time to get the fight that we all need to see at the 140-pound division for Devin Haney. And I think that it's a showdown with Teofimo Lopez. And it makes the most sense for this fight to happen next at the 140-pound division in the sport of boxing. The bad blood is there between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. The bad blood is there. The father beef is even there with Teofimo Lopez Sr. and Bill Haney. They do not like each other. The promotions would be off the charts, off the chain. It would be great to see in the sport of boxing if we get the fight between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. Both have easily defeated the best fighters available at the 140-pound division in their first few fights at the 140-pound division. We saw Teofimo Lopez's one-sided victory against Josh Taylor to become the new WBO world champion during the summer of 2023. And then we just seen Devin Haney in his debut at the 140-pound division to dismantle and dominate Regis Prograis, who was a former unified champion at the 140-pound division. So both fighters have taken out the two best fighters at the 140-pound division very early for them being a part of this division. I think this will be a great 50-50 fight between Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. It's been years in the making. It'll be a great 50-50 fight, and then it'll be a unified championship fight with the WBC and WBO world titles on the line. I think that's the fight that should be made next in the sport of boxing in terms of mega fights between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. Definitely sign me up for that fight if we get that fight next in the sport of boxing. But what's next for Regis Prograis? It's back to the drawing board for Regis Prograis after suffering his second career loss to the hands of Devin Haney. He lost his first fight back in 2019 when he fought Josh Taylor across the pond, and came up short in that big time fight in a unified championship fight at 140-pound division years ago. So this was now his second loss. It's interesting to see what Regis Prograis does next. I think there's still some big time fights for him to be made at the 140-pound division if he desires. There's still a fight with, I think at this point, a fight with him and Rolly Romero would be a good fight. Matias, Matias, the IBF world champion in the 140-pound division. I think that would be a great fight. Some fireworks between two power punchers, or even Ryan Garcia. I think there's still some things that he can do at this division. I think there's some still big time fights in this division for him. But he needs to go back to the drawing board. He needs to work on his boxing fundamentals, because you're not going to go anywhere, and you're already peaked at this particular point in your career, being 34 years of age. If you're not going to work on your fundamentals, if you're not going to have a strong, stiff jab, you're not going to work on your footwork, you're not going to work on defensive skills, you cannot be an effective fighter if you're flat-footed and just banking on your power. That's not going to win you anything else in the sport. And I just think if he can't do that, he's already peaked. But I do believe that he is in danger of becoming a gatekeeper at 140 pounds if he loses one more big fight. So that's Regis Prograis might want to keep that in mind. But I heard the comments after his fight with Devin Haney saying that he wants to become a world champion one more time at the 140-pound division, then move on to MMA. I can't see Regis Prograis doing MMA. The money for him is in the sport of boxing. Him being 34 years of age, I can't see him switching over to the MMA. So I think Regis Prograis just has to go back to the drawing board. We'll just see what's next for him. But that is my fight summary on the fight that took place in the sport of boxing between Devin Haney and Regis Prograis.